really good close friend, I carry one. Yes, I know people have always asked me, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" Yeah, he's doing good. He's just taking taking it slower these days and enjoying other things. So, all right, but this was kind of inspired by him because we got to talking, and it was like we were talking about range stuff and stuff I've learned from him, and he's a wealth of knowledge himself. I mean, I really enjoy taking a lot of advice from him. So this was kind of inspired by him because it was like we were talking about range stuff and stuff we really enjoy taking to the range and blasting rounds and all that. And I kind of ran through my collection and looked at some stuff, and I said, you know what are my favorite range stuff I like to take out and blast and play with, and why? And why did I switch gears a little bit? Because I did kind of switch up my tastes and stuff, and as a result, let a lot of stuff go and replaced it with other things. Some people might find that absolutely my decisions to do some of that, like they might say, that is insane. Why would you do that? I have my, I'll explain to you. So I got some range of stuff here. I even got one wild card, and it's in this sock. We're going to talk about that. Don't let me forget it, because I'm going to forget. You watch, I'm going to forget. And then some weird stuff that I do to my range gear that may be strange. Some people may understand it. All right. So you know what? We can't do this without talking about the 1911. My favorite range semi-auto is a 1911. This one here is an out. I know this before we even. I can already hear the comments. I can already hear the people shouting at the screen. Okay, my favorite 1911 to shoot, and has definitely been my favorite for a number of years now, is a 9mm 1911. And my ultimate favorite package would be the Commander size variant with an alloy frame, 9mm. That's what I feel is the ultimate package. I kind of learned this through the old Ken Hackathorn, them guys. That's where I kind of started. That was planting the seeds until I tried one, and I said, man, they're right. They are absolutely right. So it became my favorite. That one there is the Colt, and this one here, it's got some grease on it because I store it. Because I just recently did some repairs on it, and I haven't taken it. I did take it back out and test it. But my baby, my Springfield Armory, my Ronin, I've had for a long time, and I've shot a bunch of rounds through it. They get a little loose, but it's inherent to the 1911s and stuff. But they still shoot. They're not excessively worn. But yeah, the Springfield Armory Ronin lightweight Commander 9mm. Change out the grips and some stuff like that. And I don't mind changing stuff out like that on my range toys, because it's okay to do that. This one here, and the reason why I chose a lot of these type of things is because these are viable today. These are, you can walk into a shop and see them. They are not rare. They're not made out of unobtainium. They don't cost a house payment or a down payment on a house, which for some people that it's feasible, others not. Definitely this guy right here, not feasible. So I do like quality though, and don't mistake that for not appreciating quality or quality firearms. I really do. I just can't afford them. But I can afford something on more of a decent line, such as this Colt Commander. Not saying these are cheap by any means. But I am a little bit of a Colt fanboy, as you'll probably see here. So anyway, but yeah, both of those, like Ronins and that, I've seen the lightweight Commanders priced pretty decently on the auction site. So you don't necessarily have to pay the full blown MSRP. You can always find them under that that 1K threshold there. All right, keeping with the kind of the shooting calibers. This is the other one that I pretty much shoot and enjoy. This one here is in 22. This one here I put it together myself. I don't like to say I made it or something like that. I put it together. I did fit some parts. I fitted the grip safety to it, cut the frame and everything to adapt the grip safety to it. I did not do that with the jig, the proper way to do it. Do not recommend doing that. But anyway, I put this together because it's my friend had this Kimber upper that's a rimfire conversion unit. It's an alloy slide. The only thing that's heavy and all steel, you could say, would be the barrel. Obviously, it's stainless, but everything else is alloy. I mean, obviously, the extractor, firing pin, etc. The sear disconnector, hammer, but the rest of everything else is an alloy or polymer. I went with a polymer mainspring housing. Now, these decisions were made because of weight, to cut down the weight. I wanted this thing to be nothing. This was inspired by a friend of mine in Hawaii, back in the days of Hawaii and shooting there. He had something like this, and he had done a Kimber conversion top on top of an alloy frame, 1911 style, with this whole setup. And I really liked it. I always felt it was really awesome. And it really is. So, yeah, this is something you would have to put together if you want to. But, I mean, really, you don't have to, unless you just absolutely have to have the aluminum frame. You can just buy these uppers and throw it on any of your 1911s, and it'll do it. So, but this was kind of more inspired by his, that I just absolutely love. So, had to go ahead and do that job for it. So I got to actually touch it up. The grip safety I got from, I believe it was from Caspian. I want to say it was from Caspian Arms. I can't remember. They're one of the only people that make an alloy high rod beaver tail grip safety, and that's why I wanted an alloy one, because I wanted it to be basically lightweight like everything else. So, all right, I know. Let's get into the 45s, right? This one here, one of my favorites in 45 to take out and shoot. This is the Colt government model. I prefer the old school, even though, something like that is more of a souped up, 1911, at least for me. We got the high ride grip safety, the Novak sights, and, boulder grasping grooves or serrations here. Extended thumb safety, which I can take it or leave it, but I actually like the fact that they did low profile ones of these, because I'm not a big fan of the big extended ones. I don't like the old gas pedal looking ones. I'm not a fan of those. And oddly enough, I'm left-handed. I do not like ambi safeties on my 1911s. I think they get in the way. I don't like it. For me, I engage it with just by doing that, or you can, engage it here. If it was up, you can pop it off and do that. But again, simply range stuff for me. This is, got to remember, I'm just doing this as I take it to the range and enjoy it. So this is my favorite configuration in 1911, right here. No frills, no thrills. They did update the sights a little bit better than the real old school GI sights. They're a little bit better. They're wider and bigger and bolder. I put a little bit of gold paint on the front of my sight there just to kind of pick it up a little bit. This one here is the new commercial model, I guess they call it, or the classic. I like it because it's available. It's it's well under the 1K, and it's available. You can pick them up. They're available pretty much. I mean, every shop I've ever been to in my neck of the woods, you could pretty much find one. What I like the most about it is the fact that, like for that kind of price point, I can go out, hit the town, and pretty much come home with one. So I do like that. I like that aspect of it. It's available. It's obtainable, not unobtainium. All right, there it is, and it's in 45. I don't shoot a whole lot of 45 anymore, but I do still enjoy the cartridge, and every now and then, yes. I got to take out the old 45. I just do. Keeping with that theme, it would be, just for the sake of throwing in this one, it's the same thing. It's a 1911 45 Colt, but this one here is a Series 70. It's a Series 70 Mark IV. Now this one is I got it for a really good price, to be honest with you, just because that the it's definitely used. It's definitely a used and it's got some holster wear and some spots on it. But the reason why I like this is because of I grew up. I was the VHS era kid, and when these movies like Hard to Kill and Out for Justice and all them was coming out, and I remember seeing them in the theater and seeing those posters. This was the gun, and I remember watching like Hard to Kill and stuff, and a ton on videotape. This is the Seagal gun. I mean, this is what he carried all the time in all those flicks. So this one's kind of special for me because I call it my Gino Folino special here because in Out for Justice, if you watch it, that's what he's carrying, and he's got these uh, dark brown grips with the black diamonds on them. And of course, once I found that out, I had to put a set of those on there, everything. But yeah, that's my that kind of wraps up the 1911s there. So as you can tell, I'm a big fan of the 1911s. So the non-1911, which I think is just the coolest semi-auto to rock the screens, Beretta 92. A Beretta 92 is just something cool, man. Anybody that watched Lethal Weapon, the cool factor is out of its world for a Beretta 92. And yeah, Lethal Weapon is what definitely rocks it for me. And of course, Die Hard. Yeah, you get the first three Die Hard films, which is the ones that'll always be for me. That's the ones. I remember. I think I saw part 2 and 3 in theater with my parents, and because back then, yeah, I mean that's what I loved about back then, growing up back then in the '80s and stuff. I mean, it was just like, my parents took me to movies like that. They didn't. We had. I mean, we watched. We had Terminator on VHS, and of course T2. We watched out 1,000,000,000 times. But yeah, Beretta 92. And aside from it being in so many movies, and it just oozed awesomeness. It's actually a really good shooter. Super soft shooting. Extremely reliable. This thing is. I don't think it's ever jammed on me, not at once. And of course, it's got some history with the U.S. military and stuff. So, and then I got this holster here. It was given to me by a buddy of mine that actually wore this holster on a. I want to say he said it was an ordnance range or something like that. That he actually, because he was issued a Beretta. All right, so here's that. Okay, not gonna pile up and destroy my stuff. Okay, moving on over. You've been waiting for it. You're like, Jack, where's the revolvers? All right, here we go. This is a revolver in this case, and I should have covered that. You probably know already what it is. This is a revolver that literally changed revolvers for me. That this transitioned my change, and I lean towards this, which I never would have thought I'd ever be saying this. I know. Let's open it up. Right? All right. This is my one and only Colt Python. My blued Colt Python. Now, stop. Yes. This is the new one. This is the model, the 2020 model. It is exactly done up just like the ones of yesteryear, only better. I know some people, it's my opinion. That's my opinion. That one's for you. I carry one. In my opinion, this is a better gun. I've had the old ones. I had a few of them. And they, in fact, just yesterday, during the time taping this video here for you, just yesterday, I actually handled an older one again. A buddy of mine that he's an old cowboy. He said he just picked it up. He wanted me to look at it, and I did. I looked at it for him. I checked the timing for him, but I gotta say, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this. I know some people are just gonna absolutely just rip me apart for this one, but I'm gonna tell you this. I was handling it. Sure, was the action just amazing? Yeah. Is it just ever so slightly better. It might be, but it also could be because it's older and it's been probably used a lot more. Mine is, oh my gosh, but it felt really fragile. I'm gonna say it. It felt pretty fragile to me. It didn't feel as strong as this, and this is what changed my choice, my gears into revolver kind of stuff was this one, the new Pythons. I shot a ton of 357 Magnum through it, and been enjoying it. So, and it rocks. It's my favorite. I'm glad I went with the 6-inch. Um, my buddy's got the 4. We borrowed it. We showed it on the videos. It's nice. I know it's that Magnum Force kind of a feel, and I'm trust me. But I like my 6-inch. I really, come on, man. I mean, you've got to feel like Isaac Hayes with one of these. So, and I outfitted it with the Deer Hollow grips, which is important. If you like the old school look and the feel, Deer Hollow grips is the way to go. There's no question about it. But that right there changed my love for. I kind of used to always shoot the older Smiths and stuff, and because of just the way this thing handles, the way it's built, the way it feels, it locks up tight. I kind of switched my gears. This is my favorite. I kind of took a lot of them old Smiths and sent them on their way and kept this one. And that's just kind of the way it went for me for range stuff. I did. I know some people think that, can't believe you did that. I did. And yeah, that's just the way it went for me. I sent those on their way and just hung on to this right here. So, all right, that being said, I know I didn't send them all on their way, but all right. Still, my favorite Smith has got to be the Model 29. Now, the 44 Magnum Model 29, 6.5-inch, beautiful, beautiful revolver. It's still my favorite of all time because of the movie Dirty Harry and just the way it handles. It handles really just amazing. This is a Dash 10. This is the one I got for myself for Christmas. This is the new model. It does. It handles the 44 Magnum no problem. I've shot quite a few bit of 44 Magnum out of it. Although I shoot a lot of 44 Special, but I shoot a fair amount of decent moderate Magnums. I do like it, even though it's got some of the modern features and touches and things that they've done to the frame, like drill a hole here. It doesn't really bother me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but the little key lock just never really was a deal breaker for me. I'll still buy one, even though they made some newer models now without the key lock, which is nice. Do I prefer if I had a choice? I mean, if there were two of them sitting there and they're both one with the key lock and one without, and they're both modern made, I would certainly take the one without it. Why not? But I did. I kept and chose this one over the other ones because it just modern machinery, modern CNC machinery. Just felt that it was a good range gun. It handles really well, so that's what I rolled with. And it's, again, these are not unobtainium. These are, you can go to, at least in my neck of the woods, I can go out and buy one of these. They're not super ungodly expensive. They're not cheap. I'm not going to say they're cheap by any means, but they're not crazy expensive. They're not just like, we're not talking thousands of dollars to try to get one. I mean, I guess, like I said, I mean, sitting there, I don't want to feel like, like a hypocrite or anything, sitting there talking about that, holding up a Colt Python. But these are, if you save up or spend a little bit of the cash and you can get, I'm talking about that sweet zone, that, that price range of the 1K, area, 15 if you have to, like that. Or anything, those, but I do believe the 29s, you can get them right under that 1K price point. So, all right, I promised you something weird that I do to some of my range stuff. All right, This is my mag loader. I take it a lot because I hate loading magazines, and I hate just sitting there and getting a sore thumb at the end of the day. This is a thumb saver. This is an Uplula. Guess what? See that color? Yeah. There's only one reason I bought and did it for that color. I need to see this stuff because I don't want to forget this stuff at the range either. And it's a lot of it too. Like it's when somebody sees that, they don't necessarily want to take it either. I mean that could be a maybe, maybe not. But I can see it, and if it were to fall on the ground, I'm going to notice it. Hey, I forgot my mag loader. The same with the base plates for my magazines. These are expensive. These are I run the Wesson Combat magazines because I feel like they're the best. They work the best, and they're durable. I don't have to keep buying and replacing them. I've had these for a long time, and I've shot them a lot, and I don't clean them, and they keep ticking along. I know I'm not bad about that, but I did paint the base plates yellow so that I can see them, because if the last thing I want to do is forget it because of how expensive they are. And so yeah, that is, and they're all range stuff for me, so strictly just to remember seeing it. So there it is. I know some people get it. All right, the wild card before we get out of here, the wild card, and I'm putting it in the category as a wild card because this particular one, I haven't looked it up in a long time, but I'm assuming they're pricey. But you can get a newer made one. They do still make them. They're still part of the product line, but this one just happens to be an older one. So we'll break it out, and I've always kept it because it's so pretty. This is a 629. It's a 629 Lou Horton model, and this is a old Dash 1. It's got the combat finger groove grips that I really like. I think they're really nice looking, and they fit my hand pretty well. It's a 6-shot 44 Magnum. Can't believe that. Like I said, Smith still makes this. It's part of their product line. It looks exactly like it. There's no real difference. Other than, I guess the contour, or I think it has a key lock. I know some people are like, oh my God, that's it. I'm not buying one. But these are, the older vintage ones are quite expensive. This one, this is more of a 44 special gun for me. I've shot magnums through it. It's a little bit punishing, especially with the old, Magna grips or whatever these are, finger groove banana. But it's nice. It really is. It's one of the more pretty 44 revolvers I own. This is probably the prettiest. It is just gorgeous. It's not nickel. It's just highly polished stainless. Assuming that the Lou Horton company, when they special ordered these, and this was during that time that they would order it like this, I'm assuming, to do it like that. Now I've seen the other ones. I think this is a Dash 1. Let me see here. Yeah, this is a Dash 1, a 620 Dash 1. And it is gorgeous. Like I said, it's a beautiful piece of art, and it functions, its work. It's got a smooth trigger. I like that. Do not like the serrations on triggers, especially my revolvers. That's what I should say. So my revolvers, I do not like serrations on a trigger. The Python has serrations on a trigger. Okay, you want to hear a complaint about this thing? I wish they would have kept the trigger smooth and serrated the back strap like they used to be. The serrations on the back strap, that would have been nice, and then do away with the serrations on the trigger. Okay, that I would say. I'm glad that they did that. So, but yeah, this one's definitely really nice. I've always kind of kept it because it's just it is just so cool. Always wanted one, and I used to actually have a. One of the newer ones, the 620, I forget what is it, Dash 6 or something like that. And I had let it go some time ago. I had kept it for years, and then I let it go. Like we always do, and we let a lot of things go, and it bums you out. But as time goes on, I mean, when you're not rich or you don't have a whole bunch of money, you gotta, when you want something new, you gotta kind of do the trade out thing. So anyway, that's kind of what happened with me, and I ended up or paying bills or something like that. So I ended up selling it off, and I sold it off for really cheap. It was kind of a stupid move, but so I always kind of regretted that, and always kind of wish I would have hung on to it. So one day was over at across town, literally like on the other side of the town. I mean, far out, not even in the same county. I came across this in a shop out there. We were going out and visiting, and I saw it there, and I said, "Ooh, that's really nice." Passed on it, obviously. So we went out. We did what we needed to do, and man, I tell you, it ate at me. It ate at me. And I called them back the next day. I called them back. And they were good. They were a good couple hours out of town for me. And I called them back and I said, "Hey, do you still have that?" He said, "Yeah." And I was very lucky because when I called back, guess who I talked to? The owner. Yes, she's awesome, by the way. So this gal owns this place, and so I said, I told her where I live, and she goes, "Oh, that's no problem." She goes, "That's where we live too." She goes, "We just travel back. We just travel back and forth." I'm like, "That's crazy!" Like, so I said, "Is there any way that if I gave you a credit card number and put a big chunk down, will you hold it for me and put it on layaway for a second?" By the way, the layaway is how I obtain everything. Trust me. She said, "Yeah." So I did it. And in a couple of weeks, I went back through and I picked it up because it wasn't a ridiculous price. I will tell you that it wasn't ridiculously overpriced. So if it was, I would have passed on it. Definitely would have said a big no on that one. But it was an obtainable price, so I kept it or I bought it. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Kind of a random one, but inspired by my buddy I carry one, and so this one was for him, and we got to talking, and this is kind of where I led with it. So anyway, so hopefully, hey, I see one if you're watching. Just